Now, for some crazy reason, the manual that comes with the Hellcat, the one that I just got, right, and like pretty much looks very similar to that blue car over there. This manual only refers to 3.6 and 5.7 liter engines. No mention is made about 6.4 scat pack, you know, or Charger, the bigger V8, 6.4, let alone 6.2, nothing. I checked the entire manual, you know, it's pretty big, gives you oil change recommendations, brake in, but it's all only for the 3.6 and 5.7. Where here clearly, I don't know if you can see this, but you see this two snorkels? That's a Hellcat. It has two air intakes like this on the hood. That's the Hellcat, this one. And so I reached out to Steven, my sales guy at East Side Dodge Chrysler, and after some searching, he found this. You see here, you can clearly see this is a Hellcat, again because of the dual air intake, and this one is called Performance Features Guide. And when I look at this one has only 6.4 and 6.2 liter cars recommendations. See here it says SRT, right? So it's all digital PDF. I like that because, you know, sometimes they have like very tiny font typeface. So here I can make it bigger, you know. And so I wanted just to talk a little bit about the maintenance, because it's not that different from regular cars, but in the table of contacts here, chapter 4 says starting and operating. And if I click on that, it says engine break-in recommendations, 6.2 liter and 6.4 liter engines. So basically the break-in is the same, and oil changes is the same as with the scat pack. Remember I had a Challenger before, 2018, that white one, Dodge Challenger 6.4. And what's funny is that one is also on the engine. If you open the hood on the engine, it said powered by SRT. But these are different engines. Like this is SRT 6.2, right? But again, so the break-in period is the same. And somebody mentioned that I have to go back to the dealer to activate the full 717 horsepower, and that now my car can only produce 500 horsepower. I don't know about that because they gave me one black key and two red keys, and actually I emailed Steven, the sales guy, about this. So hopefully I'll get an answer before the end of this video, but for now, let me just, I know there's some people that are interested in this kind of stuff like maintenance and stuff, and so without further ado, the following tips will be helpful in obtaining optimum performance and maximum durability for your new vehicle. Yes. The moving parts of the vehicle must wear in with each other. This wearing in occurs mainly during the first 500 miles, 805 kilometers, and continues through the first oil change interval. It is recommended for the operator to observe the following driving behaviors during the new vehicle break-in period. 0 to 100 miles or 0 to 161 kilometers. 1. Do not allow the engine to operate at idle for an extended period of time. No idling. 2. Press the accelerator pedal slowly and not more than halfway to avoid a rapid acceleration. Check. 3. Avoid aggressive braking. Okay. 4. Drive with the engine speed at less than 3,500 RPM. And that makes total sense because 3,500 RPM in top gear, that would be about 135, 140 kilometers an hour. So 80 miles an hour. So, but in lower gears, of course, but still basically cannot go above 3,500 RPM during the first 100 miles. And the last one is maintain vehicle speed below 55 miles per hour or 88 kilometers an hour and observe local speed limits. So I'm not sure how I'm going to accomplish this. So the first 161 kilometers, they want me to drive maximum 90 kilometers an hour. Like the speed limit here is 100. So I'm guessing I'll be cruising in my bright blue Hellcat at 90 kilometers an hour. They don't say anything, by the way, about cruising, right? Sometimes they don't like it when you keep the same speed for a long period of time. Like I remember that during my other car somewhere, I read that during the break-in, they wanted to change RPM, so that the car breaks in better. I don't think it's good for the car. Let's say if I go on 201, the bypass around Calgary, and just set my speed at 90 kilometers an hour or 56 miles per hour and just set it, it's probably going to be somewhere around 1650 RPM, and just keep it like that for an hour or so, right? But they don't say anything. They just said, so do not idle, press the accelerator slowly, avoid aggressive braking, do not exceed 3500 RPM, and stick to 90 kilometers an hour. Like for me, kilometers are easiest. So 100 miles. Okay, got it. Now the next stage is 100 to 300 miles. 160 to 483 kilometers. Or to put it more simply, 160 kilometers to 500 kilometers. 1. Press the accelerator pedal slowly and not more than halfway to avoid rapid acceleration in lower gears. First to third gears. Man. So up to 300 miles, they still don't want me to do rapid acceleration in the first 3 gears. 2. Avoid aggressive braking. 3. Drive with the engine speed at less than 5,000 RPM. Wow, that's easy. Because again, in top gear, 5,000 RPM, if you go, and this is automatic, right? If I go into top gear and 5,000 RPM, that would be around, I'm guessing 160, 170 kilometers an hour or 100 miles an hour. So like there's no way to drive here like that except if I go on a racetrack, but basically no racing. And number 4, maintain vehicle speed below 70 miles per hour, 112 kilometers an hour, and observe local speed limits. Or, so after 100 miles on the clock, or 160 kilometers, I'll be able to do 110. Actually here, the northern side of Highway 2, which is the freeway that goes through Calgary south to north, like the bottom part is 100 kilometers an hour speed limit. It has 100 kilometers an hour speed limit. But the top part, once you reach the, closer to the airport here where I live, it becomes 110. And then all the way up to Edmonton, it's all 110. And so cool. So, but at first, yeah, so first 100 miles, 90 kilometers an hour. Then the next 200 miles, no, the next 300 miles, no, wait, 200 miles, 100 to 300. 110 or 70 miles per hour. Now the last part is 300 to 500 miles. So 500 to 800 kilometers. Exercise the full engine RPM, shifting manually at higher RPM when possible. Okay, so here they want you to already start going into higher RPM. Do not perform sustained operation with the accelerator pedal at wide open throttle. Okay, and last one says maintain vehicle speed below 85 miles per hour and observe local speed limits. And 85 miles per hour equals 136 kilometers an hour. So during the first 500 miles or 800 kilometers, I'm not supposed to drive faster than 85 miles per hour. So first it's what did I say? First it's 90 kilometers an hour, then it's 110, and now we are allowed to do 136. Just good luck finding a spot where you can drive that fast over here. And okay, hold on. And then for the first, oh yeah, that was not the last part. So first one was 0 to 100, 100 to 300 miles, 300 to 500 miles. And now the last cautionary part here is about It says, for the first 1,500 miles or 2,400 kilometers, do not participate in track events, sport driving schools, or similar activities. Wow, 1,500 miles, so basically no racing. No racing until I reach 1,500 miles or 2,414 kilometers. And check engine oil with every refueling and add if necessary. Oil and fuel consumption may be higher through the first oil change interval. Running the engine with the oil level below the add mark can cause severe engine damage. And of course this one, on top of the regular 6.2 liter V8, it is a 2.4, I believe, 2.4 liter supercharger, which also requires oil. And I think the oil for the supercharger comes from the same reservoir, so that's why it's very important to check the oil, make sure it's always at the proper level. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that here I'm looking at the thumbnails on the left, and I make a note of page 64 in the manual. And I looked briefly at the performance features. Man, it's unbelievable, you know, what you can change over there, like your traction, like there's much more. It looks very similar to Scat Pack 6.4, but there's way more features. And also this car, I never had this before. We'll definitely do a test. This car comes equipped with adaptive cruise control. I never had that one. That's why I don't know if you saw that when I was walking around the car, but in the bumper, like right in the center, there's like a round, looks like kind of like a flashlight, you know, headlight, but this size, like glass, kind of like a loopy kind of thing. And I asked Steven about this, and he says, oh, that's your adaptive cruise control camera. So there's a camera that it's like a radar, right? There's a camera that constantly checks the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. And so if you have your cruise control set, let's say at, I don't know, 200 miles an hour, you know, just regular Sunday cruise, you know, and if it sees something, you're getting close to a grandma in a minivan in front of you, it'll change your cruise control, your set speed to, let's say, only 100 miles an hour. And then once you avoid that minivan, it'll go back to 200 miles an hour. Right? Cool. And of course it has avoidance. It has, you know, like it'll tell you if you're drifting into another lane. It has all those features. It has a blind spot monitoring. It's a way safer vehicle than my previous Charger and Challenger. It's like packed with safety features, you know. And of course traction control and all these good things. But anyway, so yeah, the next one I wanted to mention is that oil change intervals. And again, they're the same. What is this? I thought it was 64. Oh, by the way, about towing. There's a section here about towing, and it says the recommended vehicle is only flatbed tow truck, just exactly what I used before. And they say the FCA US recommends towing your vehicle with all four wheels off the ground using a flatbed. If flatbed equipment is not available and the transmission is operable, the vehicle may be flat towed with all four wheels on the ground under the following conditions. The transmission must be neutral. The towing distance must not exceed 30 miles or 50 kilometers, and the towing speed must not exceed 30 miles per hour or 50 kilometers an hour. If the transmission is not operable, or the vehicle must be towed faster than 30 miles per hour, 50 kilometers per hour, or farther than 30 miles or 50 kilometers, then the only acceptable method of towing is with a flatbed truck. Okay, so towing this vehicle in violation of the above requirements can cause severe transmission damage. Damage from improper towing is not covered under the new vehicle limited warranty. Okay, now finally we are at servicing and maintenance. And again, over here it says, just, you see, they group them together, 6.2, 6.4. So same as for a Scat Pack, Challenger or Charger Scat Pack, right? But again, this is a bit different from US because I'm in Canada, and I think they consider Canada as extreme weather area. And the car is, of course, equipped with the oil change indicator. And it says here that the oil change indicator system will remind you that it is time to take your vehicle in for scheduled maintenance. Oil change required message. There'll be a message. Oil change required. Will be displayed in the instrument cluster, and a single chime will sound indicating that an oil change is necessary. Based on engine operation conditions, the oil change indicator message will illuminate. This means the service is required. Have your vehicle serviced as soon as possible within the next 500 miles or 800 kilometers. Note, the oil change indicator message will not monitor the time since the last oil change. Even if your oil change indicator thing is not on, it's not illuminated, but it's been more than 6 months since your last oil change, they said you must change your oil. And also they said you have to change your engine oil more often if you drive off-road or use it on track for an extended period of time. But the most important thing is this: under no circumstances should oil change intervals exceed 6,000 miles or 10,000 kilometers or 6 months, whichever comes first. And that exactly what I had on, I think on Charger was similar. Again, because I'm in Canada, so climate is more severe here than in the States, and so Canadian booklet is different from American booklet. So if you guys, if anybody of you guys has a car with a 6.4, 6.2 liter engine, Chrysler, Hellcat or Scat Pack, like, let me know. I'm just curious because I don't remember what was required on my 5. Oh, actually, wait a second. I have a booklet. We can look at that briefly. If I can find it here, maybe I can find it. But basically, this means that since I got the car in December 14 or 13, right? December 13, I picked up the car. So January, February, March, April, May, June. So I must change oil before June, no matter what. Even if I have like 1,000 miles on it, I have to change the oil. And then after that, oh, by the way, yeah, so, and then of course at each stop for fuel, check your engine oil level, check the windshield washer solvent, once a month, check tire pressure, inspect the battery, check fluid levels, coolant, stuff like that. At each oil change the engine oil filter. At each oil change the engine oil filter. Inspect the brake hoses and lines, inspect the CV universal joints. So this is good to know. Okay, and here I have a table, and it's pretty much the same. It's yeah, you see it says change the engine oil 10,000 kilometers or 6,000 miles, and then it just goes 6, 12, 18, 24. So basically every 6,000 miles or 6 months. You see, and then of course there's some special requirements here. There's a couple of bigger. Once you reach, I think, well, actually it tells you, there's all these check marks over here. Like once you, I think the second one, once you reach 12,000 miles, 20,000 kilometers, there's more stuff they have to do. Like they have to not just change oil, but they have to inspect the brake linings, inspect the exhaust system. So I'm going to remind them. Actually, quite often, oh, sorry about that. Quite often, the dealer has no clue about this. I remember when I had my Kenworth, and I had the same booklet with these, you know, crosses or check marks. When it was time to do like the first serious oil change, you know, just kind of like here where it says you have to do it 20,000 kilometers, 12,000 miles. There's some extra stuff, right? So I went to the dealer, Kenworth dealer in Cambridge over there, and they had no clue. Also, you want us to do all this? We're not sure how we're gonna charge you for this, because it's not on our computer. Like, you know, because they can either do a basic oil change, or if you want something extra, they're gonna charge you by the hour, or they had that golden package for the Kenworth, which was supposed to include everything, but half of the stuff the manual indicated I was supposed to do was not covered in that golden package. So this time, basically, definitely to be replaced, the cabin air filter to be replaced every 12,000 miles. So basically, definitely, I'm keeping this manual. I'm gonna print out these pages when I go to the dealer. Oh, and also it says rotate tires. You see, tires have to be rotated 10,000 kilometers, 6,000 miles. Yeah, so it's a very handy table over here with these check marks, right? Tells you what to do. But yeah, so here's the, let's see, it probably has the same page. It was 64 over there. Let me see. Getting to know your instrument panel, servicing, maintenance. Oh, 254. 250. Hold on. $254. Okay. Under no circumstances should oil change interval exceed 10,000 miles, 16,000 kilometers, 12 months, or 350 hours of engine runtime. You see, it's different over here. 10,000 miles or 16,000 kilometers or 12 months. So this is for 3.6 liter and 5.7. But my Hellcat, so it's the same again as Catpack, so it's 6,000 miles or 6 months. And actually on the Hellcat, they don't say anything about let me just double check, about the hours. Do they say anything about the hours? Starting and operating? No, wait, that was 64. Page 64. Under no circumstances should oil change intervals exceed 6,000 miles, 10,000 kilometers, or 6 months. Okay, so that's 6.4, 6.2, 3.6, 5.7. It's 10,000 miles, or 12 months, or 350 hours of engine runtime, whichever comes first. The 350 hours of engine run or idle time is generally only a concern for fleet customers. All right. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. So I just wanted to, learn myself what they expect from me to do. Oh, and by the way, I think I got an email from the sales guy, answer to my question. I said the question. Somebody on my YouTube channel said my Hellcat is locked at 500 HP and that I have to go to the dealer after 800 kilometers to unlock the full performance, 717 horsepower. And Steven writes back, I haven't heard of that before, but I can ask my technicians and get back to you. Okay. Well, probably, I don't think it's true, because I haven't seen it anywhere in my manual, because maybe it was true on the previous models, but on this one, this is a 2022 Hellcat. They give you all these strict regulations, right, as for the break-in period. So, but if I hear something, I'll post an update on my channel. Okay, so that's it for today. So maintenance and oil change tips for a Hellcat 2022 model. Thanks for watching.